Hello everybody, welcome back to day number 43 of 100 Days of Code, and in this video we are going to be continuing on where we left off in the last video about Vuex state, and we're going to be going on to the Vuex state mutations. So in the last video we created this store with a state which includes this tasks array with all our tasks in it. We then went and styled up our app, added in the essential stuff for it, not hooked it up to any functionality yet, but also made it list out our tasks in our array. We got there, so now let's create our mutation. So the first things first, if we want to be able to add a new task, correct? So to do that, we have to first create a mutation. And in our mutation, in mutations, we want to write in here, we want to pass through some functions. So we want to go new task, and we want to pass through the state, so the state itself, and we also want to pass through the tasks which we want to modify. We're then going to write state.tasks, so we're going to get this state, we're going to go state.tasks.push, and then we're going to push through a ID, which is going to be random. So if we have 3 in there already, so we're just going to go tasks.length, because that will also always get 1 extra from what it is if we started at 0, so that will pass back 3, state.tasks.length. We're then going to say task is just going to be equal to task. We don't have to pass anything else through, and then we're going to say done is equal to false. If you wondered why I didn't put task, it's because if your variable name is the same name as your actual key, then you can just pass in that one name. So because this is equal to tasks, we could just pass that through and now understand that means task. It's just a nice shorthand way of doing it. It looks a bit cleaner. I don't know, maybe it doesn't in this scenario, but normally, if like when we pass through components, they look a lot neater doing it the same here. It's just because their variable names are the same. But yeah, so that is the new task mutation. Now, how do we call that and how do we pass the task through? That is a different question. Let's go into the task form. And over at the task form, we are going to basically we're going to add a click event first. So we're going to add, in here, we're going to add an @click, which is short for feet on click. And we're going to pass through new task. We could do the commit straight in here, but we don't want to do that just yet. So we're going to create a new task. So that's what's going to happen. So we're going to create inside, after our data, we're going to say methods. We're going to pass through an object, which is going to have an object of functions, pretty much. And in here, we're going to say new task. So we're going to create a new task method. And now, so when you do a mutation, you actually commit the mutation. So you send a commit to the store, which understands this as a mutation. It looks for a mutation which you pass through the name of, and then you can pass through a payload. So you can pass through items. In our case, that's what we're going to want to do. So we're going to say this.$store, like we did in a previous video, to actually access it using state, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do this.store.commit, and then we're going to pass through the name of the mutation, which in our case was new task. We could just send this, but obviously we said we were going to pass through a task, so we can do that by adding a payload called this.task, and that is going to be equal to the task in our data. We're then going to say this.task is equal to nothing because we want it to reset after we add it, and that is it. That is how we add a new task. So if we go through and we run task 4 and we hit add, there we go, task 4 has been added. So there you go, that is as easy as that to do this. So task 5, task 6, and so forth. So that is how that works. So I hope you understand that, but we could also, if you want to, you could say new task and you could just send that through. You don't have to pass anything through. It just means in your store, you don't pass through a second parameter. Again, you could pass through objects or anything through here. So if you wanted to send multiple data, you can send an array or anything. You just send a payload. So yeah, that is how that works. So that is our new task. We've got our new task now. Now we want to remove stuff, right, guys? We don't want to have it always there. So let's close our form. We've done with our form for now. That is all it is. Let's go into our task list. And in here on the remove, we're going to add an click, and it's going to be as simple as $store.commit, and we're going to create a thing called remove task, and this is going to be passed through task.id. So in here, we're going to go back in, and that looks good. So let's go over to our store, and now let's create the method called remove task, and we're going to create a state, and we're going to pass through the task or the ID. Should we call it ID? We'll call it ID. I think that sounds better because that's actually what we're passing through. And now in here, we want to go, how do we want to do this? So normally we would just splice it, but first we have to find the index of it. We could have passed through the index when we so we could have passed through the index when we hit this X and passed through just the index instead of the ID, but then when we hit show done and we click X, it's going to pass the wrong index through, which is not what we want. So we want to do it by ID, so we're going to filter, I believe, so we're going to say state.tasks is equal to, and we're going to say state.task.filter, and in here we're going to pass through the tasks, and we're going to say task.id is not equal to ID. So as long as the task ID is not equal to ID, we're then going to set that back to that. And now if we hit save, I don't know if this is going to work. I've never tested this way before. So if we hit remove, and it works, there you go. So that actually worked. I'm going to admit that was fluky. Before I actually did the the iteration, the index way, and that had errors when I did show done. If let's say if task 2 was in task 1's position, I deleted it, it would actually delete task 1, which we don't want to do. We want it to do it by the right ID. So that is what we have done. So remove task now works. So we can create new tasks. We'll say another task. So I want it to be different, or another tax. And see, I've done a spelling mistake. So let's remove it. And there you go. That removes the correct one. Let's refresh to get back our normal one. And there we go. That is how that works. So that is awesome. That's working nice. The next mutation we're going to do is toggle done. And we're going to pass through a state and again the task or the ID. And we're going to say state.tasks is equal to state.tasks.map. So we're going to use the map this time. We're going to pass through the task again. And we're going to go function. I'm losing my mind. We're going to say if task.id is equal to, or is equal, come on, is equal to, we got it there in the end, ID, then we're going to say task.done is not equal to, or is equal to not task.done. Else return task, return task, and I think we need to return task, right? I am not 100% sure. Let's see if this works. So let's go back into our task list, and where we have our P, we want to add a click event, and we're going to say @click is equal to $store.commit, and we're going to pass through the, what do we call it, toggle done, and we're going to pass through tasks.id. So now if we click on it, there you go. So that works. That is the first time I've done that. So that is how we've done that. So now again, if we hit show done, it's not going to do anything. So we're going to do this. Is going to be a getter method, which is going to be used to filter through our objects, but we're going to do that in the next video. But for now, just understand that. Let's go back to store. So what I did there is I mapped through the tasks, and I don't know if I have to actually return tasks. Let's do that and let's refresh. If I just do 2. Okay, so that doesn't actually work. So yeah, we do just need to return task. Actually, we just need to return task. We don't need to do a, so that is that. So now if we refresh and we just click, there you go. Yeah, so it just returns tasks every time. So it saves you an extra line of code. And actually, we can make this even shorter by going like this and removing that. And there you go. So that's in 2 lines there we have now created. We're just doing some shortening. You don't need, this is a 1-line if statement. You could also use an I don't know what I'm saying. I forgot what they called that. Something operator, which it's basically without writing the if, and then you do a question mark. And we've done it somewhere in here before, but you guys know what I'm saying. I'm just going to ramble for a minute while I pretend like I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's move on. So if I click task, as you can see, they task now. We can add a new task. So we can say task 4. Oh, we've already got 3. Don't want to add 4. We can add a new task, task 4. We can now delete tasks. We can mark them as done and then remove them if we wanted to. And we can, that's it. That's what we've set up so far. So in the next video, we're going to go on to getters, which are used to filter through. So we're going to filter through the ones which are done and only show those ones. You know, we should probably show not done. But anyway, we could do either. You guys understand the concept. You can just swap around the if it's true or false section in this. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do in the next video, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more, then hit that subscribe button. And if you have any comments, feedback, or anything else, drop that in the comments section or head over to our Discord server. The link is in the description. Create an account or use your current account, join us, and come meet up with new developers. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitter. It's at Tyler_Potts_. The link is in the description also. And this repo will be in the GitHub repository. And I should hopefully put that in every single video, but it will be the complete code from the end because I haven't been committing along the way because I'm a dumb. So I apologize, but for now, I think you guys will want the end result anyway, so you can have a look, debug it, change it how you want, and do what you like with it. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.